Hi there, I'm Patrick. I run a small business called Charlie's Coffee Co. It's named after my dog Charlie, and I roast coffee. This is my interview show. It's called Grounds Up. Basically, I sit down with people who I think are really cool and doing interesting things and have a chat with them over a few cups of coffee, just like a coffee tasting. And it's definitely not derivative of any other YouTube show. Today on the show, I'm joined by Caleb Knueven. He is a photographer, filmmaker, and visual effects artist and supervisor. He's worked on everything from big Hollywood movies and TV shows to his own short films, but you probably know him best for his film photography YouTube channel called Bad Flashes. He also has a podcast with his best friend, Jason Kummerfeldt. Hopefully I pronounced that right, Jason, aka Grainy Days, where they chat about all things film photography. I really enjoyed having Caleb on the show and hope you guys enjoy the episode. It's definitely a long one, so grab a seat, grab a coffee, and get cozy. Hope you enjoy the show. Caleb, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited.
It's great to have you. Before we start drinking some coffee, give me a rundown of your relationship with coffee.
Relationship with coffee. Wow. This is a long one. It's a very, very deep one. It really started when I was in high school, and I had a girlfriend who drank coffee, and I was like, I'm going to drink coffee. And it was the worst because it was like, pot coffee, and you just pour some, what was it, hazelnut creamer?
Oh,
like
yeah.
The not even the liquid stuff.
The scoop.
It's the scoop. You're like, and I was like, I need more of this. And so I just put a bunch of, and then I think really where it really took off was my sister. She became like, she went to Kenya. She like kind of learned about coffee, and coffee's always been in our family, but it's been, you go to Starbucks. Starbucks is a very easy entry road for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
So we've always had coffee in the house. And then my sister she went to Kenya. She learned about it, learned about fair trade, learned about all the people who grow the beans and how that whole process is going. And so then from that point, she went into coffee herself. And then she brought the entire family along, and she was like, okay, so that garbage that you're drinking, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to do better stuff. So,
amazing.
Yeah, and then so she has a place in Kansas City. She
has
really?
Her own
place, yeah.
What's
long story short, but it's, yeah.
Do you want to plug her shop?
Yes, The Wild Way.
Okay.
The Wild Way Coffee Camper. First coffee camper in KC.
That's
Kansas
so
City,
sick.
yeah.
Maybe I'll have to order some of her for coffee for the next interview.
Repetition is who I think she just signed with, or she's now, because she doesn't roast.
Okay.
But she works with a lot of women businesses in Kansas City, or roasters in Kansas City. So I think Repetition, they're doing a new collab. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Repetition in KC. So,
awesome.
Yeah, she's actually gotten from or purchased from the West Coast a lot too, like Cat and Cloud is a West Coast one, right?
Yeah, they're Santa Cruz, right?
Yeah. So she used to have them too.
Oh, cool.
And so she goes through a lot of different beans depending on, So yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was funny. Like back in the day when she was first starting out, because as you know, you have your own coffee thing. Like it's hard. You grind.
Yep.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
But pun intended, I guess. And so every Christmas, like she was like, I can take off, but like I can't take off because it's like my business. And so we would go, and like me and my brother would go and like help out and be
sick.
in there and be in the trailer. It's fucking cold in there. And,
yeah.
Can I say fucking, right?
Yeah, it's
okay.
fine.
It was cold in there, and so because there's no insulation or heat. It was fun. It's fun. Yeah. But now she's just like, I want to be with you guys. I don't want to make you work to the bone. And so I've kind of been behind the scenes with coffee before.
That's awesome. That's a great history. I love that.
Oh, yeah. So,
but this is actually perfect. Actually, before we jump into the coffee, I'll kind of give you a rundown. So the way that we kind of do this is each cup that we'll go through, each coffee, we've got them all in front of us. We're going to go starting from your side to my side.
Okay, cool.
And they're hopefully going to just like get a little bit weirder as we go. With the exception of this one, I think is kind of like, or end on like a more mellow note.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically what we'll do is like kind of one coffee, and then we'll have like a topic per coffee.
Per coffee. Okay. Yeah. Party
so
on.
we can start whenever you're ready.
Cool.
If you want to pop the lid on that. This is actually,
I like the pink. Well, pink is part of your. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. For you first.
Do as much as you'd like, but just know we've got a lot of coffee.
We got a lot.
Drink,
That's
so,
true. Okay.
So no pressure to drink too much.
Okay, that sounds good. Oof, that's gonna be okay. Yeah, that's gonna be hard because I can just put it down. Sometimes I make an espresso in the morning and a coffee, like and a drip, and so I'm like
shot and a pour.
Trying to pour. That's what I like to do when I go to like coffee shops. We're getting off anything, but I like to I like to go to a coffee shop and be like, okay, I've never been here. I have to get at least a coffee, like a drip or a pour over or something, and then like a cortado.
Yeah,
because that's how I can taste like everything.
They got to do both well, you know.
They have to do both well.
Yeah,
you're right.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So this first coffee is actually only fitting. It's a Kansas City roaster called Oddly Correct.
Oh yes. Okay, I have had Oddly Correct.
Yeah, their bags I feel like are a little bit unique. Their branding isn't super big, but they have like always fun kind of illustrations.
Yes, I've definitely had it, and my sister has. I think she's had Oddly in her.
Really?
In her truck at some point.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's cool.
So enjoy at your leisure. There's kind of no rules here, so just whenever you feel like taking a sip. Whenever you feel like talking about the coffee, let me know. We'll start out.
Oddly's good. Oddly Correct is good. Yeah.
I really love just their whole kind of branding is great. I think like their name is perfectly fitting for how quirky they are too.
Oh yeah. You gotta love a good package. You really do.
Yeah, it takes a lot. I mean, clearly, like this is my bag that I designed, and there's not a lot. There's not as much artistry going.
Not yet, though. You got a lot of stuff going on here. We're on a podcast.
Probably too much stuff. Let's be real.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so I want to actually start off talking about photography. Obviously.
Okay, yeah.
So talk me through how you got started with photography, and then when you made the transition to film.
Film as in yeah. So photography really only started with me being bored when moving to LA like 12, 13 years ago or something like that now. And I had, so back in the day I sold an Xbox 360 for a Canon 60D. So it was like their crop sensor. It was at that time when DSLRs were doing HD video, and the 5D like kind of blew up everyone's mind. And then Canon was like, oh, we can do this to other things. Yeah. And being a college student, I just got the 60D because it was cheaper, it was crop sensor and whatever. Got some Canon FD glass that was broken, did not know how to shop eBay at that point. I mean, at that point, people were giving shit away for free.
Yeah.
You didn't know that. I didn't know that. Man, I'd have a store or something just full of X-Pans. But so I got that, and it was primarily to make short films on. And then I came out to LA, I got into the business, and then I was bored and didn't have friends on the weekends. So I went out and took photos with that. Yeah. None of them are good. They're very bad.
What did you shoot? What kind of stuff?
Well, I was living in Glendale at the time, if anyone knows what Glendale or where Glendale is. But there's I don't know, there's not a lot of scenery. I would just shoot things.
Little suburban.
I just look at stuff and shoot it and be like, yeah, okay.
Little photo walks.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing ever happened. I did nothing to them. I know where they're at on my hard drive because I'm very thorough with data management. But sometimes I look back at them like, oh, yeah, I guess that's how it started.
Yeah.
And so that was that. And then I was bored one day at work. So I didn't do that. I did like 3 walks because apparently I don't walk anywhere. No one in LA does. But so like on my hard drive, it's like Glendale Walk 1, Glendale Walk 2. That's how I labeled it at that point.
Yeah.
And then I never did it again, I guess. But and then I got bored at work, and then I looked at an article from Gizmodo, which is like one of those tech sites. I don't know, like The Verge or something like that. It was, and it was like, medium or film is better than digital camera still. And I'm like, oh, shit, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've always been a tech person. I like camera. I really like cameras, actually. I've always, ever since like growing up in Texas, I grew up in Texas for a little portion of my life, and I did skateboarding videos. And so like I begged my mom to buy a camcorder.
Yeah.
I was like, I need this. You can film my little brother's soccer games.
Right.
And she's like, okay, yeah, sure. And so I've always really liked them. So when I read that article, I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. Let's buy. So I bought like a box of expired film for like $70.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was a good sized box. It was like that big.
It's a $300 box today.
Oh my God, dude. I would never pay that. I would never buy that box because it would be way too expensive.
Yeah.
But it had some good stuff in there, stuff that I appreciate now and didn't then.
Right.
But I bought a Holga.
Oh yeah.
CFN, which is like the color flash rotation up top, and and that was my first. Yeah, that was
the
my
little
first one.
plastic lens on it.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
80 mil. Yeah.
So you're drawn in by the resolution is kind of that.
I think that's what it was. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
medium format was it was the first. Anytime I say like what the first camera was, and I tell them it's medium format, they're really like confused. They're like, "What the fuck? You started with that?
Yeah.
You started with that?"
I started with medium format too, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh cool.
I started with TLR, like a Yashica.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. Did you? When did you pick film up for yourself?
I picked it up over COVID.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
So a recent convert.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I actually, growing up, my dad did photography on the side, like weddings.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was being like 7th grade, and my dad would be like, "You want to make $100?" And I'd go like be his second shooter.
Oh, okay.
So
then photography has been in your blood, really,
Yeah,
in the family lineage. Okay.
Exactly,
Okay. Yeah.
So I grew up shooting like an old Nikon.
Oh, okay.
That I loved, but and then kind of fell away from it. Picked it up a little bit in college, and then like fell away from, kind of the story of like you sell your camera and then you don't shoot anything.
And you're like, why did I do that? And
Yeah.
you buy new one. Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah.
and then the resurgence came in COVID. I was like, I'm gonna get back into photography. Started shooting like a Sony APS. No, it was the A7C, the small full frame body.
Yeah.
And was like had just moved to California. In Santa Cruz, and was like,
oh,
so much more to
moved
shoot
there.
here.
You're not from there.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
where are you from?
Boise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
nice.
big change, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's definitely a change. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So and then film followed shortly after, because I just saw a lot of like stuff on Instagram. I was like, how are people getting these colors?
Oh,
This is
totally.
insane.
Yeah.
And so that was the
Did
rabbit hole.
Did your dad ever shoot film then, or no?
Yes.
Or a bit,
long
probably.
time ago.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He got into photography a little late too.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
so it was kind of, he got into it when digital was like really kind of taking off as like the new standard.
Yeah.
So we had some film stuff, and actually randomly I took a film class in high school when we did like darkroom work and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
Anyway.
That's cool. Wow. I mean, I didn't when I was going through high school, they had a dark room and I would hang out in there, but like they didn't do anything. I think they were fully digital when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
We developed our own film. We did like
Oh,
enlarging and everything. So
I'm
cool.
so jealous of people who learned that back in the day, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, I did that." And I'm just like, "What? That's the coolest thing in the world."
Especially like that darkroom was sick. Like,
I bet.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Now I'm like fucking in my bathroom, just like.
Yes, exactly. That's why I don't think I could ever develop my own film, because I'm like, I know what it's like and how easy it can be.
Oh,
and,
totally. Yeah. It's for me. It was basically time management. It's like either I'm in the bathroom developing for, I don't know, hours on end, or I send it off and I can edit.
Yep, exactly.
And it's like where do you need to put your energy? Yeah.
It makes me want to shoot more too, not having to develop my own, because I'm like, I don't want to have to go deal with the chemicals. And,
No, totally.
Yeah,
I get that. I'm right there, very much so.
Well, props to you for doing it in the bathroom. I feel like that's a rite of passage that I do not have.
Yeah,
so.
well, maybe someday when you get really desperate, you're like, oh man, these prices, $50 for a roll of Color Plus? No thanks.
Yeah, big time. We need like a separate bathroom for that, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Uh-huh.
Okay, so I have some questions for you about your process, I guess, for photography.
Totally.
So when you do like a trip and you arrive, for a shoot, whatever you're kind of shooting, what's your methodology? How do you approach things?
Yeah. Are we talking about like, one of our trips where we're shooting some abandoned stuff, or okay. I don't know. I guess when it comes to that, I think the thing is when you start with a video like that, or you start with a place, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be doing there, or you have something, right? So it's like I show up with a Mamiya Panoback, and I'm like, I gotta just kind of review this. And at that point, you're kind of like, okay, cool. You just take photos. You kind of see the light. You see where things fall. It's very like kind of documentarian, kind of like you document the space almost with a place like that anyway. Or if it's a film stock, the same thing. I mean, I guess it's really the same thing. If you're usually going in with an idea of like, I'm either reviewing a camera, or it's just, this is going to be fun, this is a travel thing, or it's going to be something to do with the film stock. But depending on where it is, it wouldn't be a film stock per se, because that's going to a location. Usually you want to have I usually want to have an idea of like what Is it going to be dark or is it going to be light? Those are kind of the two two things. Do I need to bring 800 or do I need to bring 200?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, I think that's kind of the process. Yeah. Just kind of like look around, see what I see, and see if there's anything that catches my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the fun part of it.
Totally.
It's just the exploring and then kind of the capturing at that point.
Yeah. A bit of improvisation.
Yeah,
kind of figuring
totally.
that out as you
Yeah. With like a loose structure a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I was, when I went to Chicago, that was, oh man, I don't even remember anymore. But it was this year. Went to Chicago and I was going to do a Nikon FA video. I was like, gonna do it. This is what's happening. And then I decided halfway through, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to have this be a video, a travel video. And I really turned out well. I really like that one.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to kind of be ready to just flip on a dime and be like, okay, done.
Yeah. I mean, if the conditions aren't working or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I was just having fun, like not thinking about, that's the other thing. Like sometimes when you create videos, you kind of have to think about what you're going to say, think about if you like the camera, because I don't think I shot with that FA at any point. That was like the main, like I put a test roll through it, but that doesn't do anything. Just says, okay, it works at all the shutter speeds.
It didn't get scammed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I got a lens and I got a body and they both work.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like, I think I got the Nikon FA from Macari or something like that.
Okay.
Do you know that? It's like an app-based, it's like eBay, but like not, or Craigslist, but like not, but it's on the app. It's just on your phone. And it's so depressing because I'm just like, always like, oh yeah, I can, well, that's decent price.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the FA came around and I was like, oof, I think it was like 170. And I sold something on there and I had a credit. So it was like nothing, you know? I'm like, phew.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's Venmo money.
It's Venmo money. It doesn't matter. It's like, oh, wow, I got this for free.
Exactly.
Or PayPal. I do that sometimes. I get paid through PayPal sometimes and I forget to transfer it. And I'm like, oh shit, I got a new camera money in there.
I feel like we should, you and Jason on the podcast should do like, have you heard of like girl math?
No.
It's like this thing where they call it girl math because it's like girls will justify spending like money. So it's like anything that's on sale, that's money that you have back.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And I feel like we could do a photography math.
I'm so that way. I don't know if Jason does that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he does that. There's been a few times where it's like he's been looking at something and once it gets to a threshold, he's like, okay, cool.
Right.
But I don't know if he's ever been like, yeah, I just randomly save money. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm probably
wine.
I think I'm more like that.
Okay.
I would be that guy. He's more calculated. I'm like, oh, FA.
One of these. One of those.
Yeah, exactly. I just put that in the cart.
Awesome. I'm curious if you feel like when you're shooting, does it pull you away from being in the moment, or does it help you be more present?
Shooting.
Film, photography.
Okay, so shooting it, be present instead of like, so you're saying like beautiful sunset, you're like, oh my god, this is beautiful, but instead I'm like, oh my god, this is beautiful, click, click, click.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Does it help you like enjoy the moment more?
It definitely helps me enjoy the moment more.
Yeah.
I like, there's a lot of, California has good sunsets, I mean, being in Santa Cruz, like you're right there. I think when it comes to something like that, it's like, I want to capture it and I have fun enjoying the capturing portion and the exploring portion and all that goes with photography. Yeah. So the moment is kind of like, that's a good moment. And I'm like, click, 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 click. And I'm like, that's what gets me going.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you where are you at on that?
So it's funny, when I was shooting digital, it definitely took me out of it.
Okay.
But with film, I'm able to like calm down. Yeah. I don't know what it is. You would think it'd be the opposite because you have less shots. Right. It's more likely to mess one up. Yeah. Film or digital, I'd have 20 of the exact same picture.
It's a weird brain thing. It really is. Like I feel you on that. I feel you. It's like I do feel way more calm. It's almost like I know my settings. I got it. Don't even worry about it. Click. Oh, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't give a shit. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's like, if you really, really need that shot, then yes, you're going to take more of it. But like, it's not about that.
Exactly.
It's not.
And it's kind of, I don't know, I think the part of the enjoyment with film, with something like that, is if there is a mistake, it's now part of, it's like we make mistakes in life, and that's kind of like a representation of
no, totally. Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate at this point. I was actually thinking about this. Oh yeah, I just released a video about the Konica recorder.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I really like I really like the old B-roll I did in that one. I was like, this is like A-game B-roll shit. Anyway, side tangent. So I did see some light leak issues with my camera on some of those photos. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll tape up the door, do another round, whatever. I'll try to make it in. I didn't make it in time for the video. I got the roll back and it was fucking blank. The entire roll. And that has not happened to me in forever. And I'm like, I know it was expired. So it was expired Fuji color stuff. I usually shoot that at 100. It's ISO 200. I usually shoot it at 100. It's been fine.
Yeah.
In anything else. So I was like, okay. And I think maybe it was so confusing to me because I should have got something on the roll.
Right.
Because the last roll I did was completely fine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it had some light leaks, but it was completely fine. So I'm like, did I load wrong? What the hell? So I have to do a whole nother thing, a whole nother roll in that. Or the developer just fucked up. Like they didn't tell me.
I've had that same exact thought. Because there was... So my Nikon, I shoot a Nikon F2 mostly.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And I took it to Alaska. I was doing like this mountaineering trip.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was so sick. Wow. And I shot everything on film when I was there. And the one photo that was like, I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. This is insane. Uh-huh. I took like 4 of them.
Yeah.
For some reason, I got them all back. And I knew exactly in the roll it was. And it's like blank with like a little strip on the side. And I have no clue to this day, like, what happened.
So
I don't know if I had a shutter issue.
There's just 4 photos or whatever just blank in the middle of this roll?
Yes, like the best photos of the trip were just like black. Like really, really weird. And the only thing I could think of was it was so cold there that I think the temperature may have messed with the film in some way.
What did you shoot? What was it?
I shot a bunch of stuff. I shot one roll, or one of those photos was on Cinestill XX.
Oh, but yeah.
And then the other one was on some color film. I can't remember now. Probably Portrait or something. But
that's so interesting. If like all your other photos turned out though, like that doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense. So I called them and I was like, "What happened?" They're like, "We don't know. It's not our fault." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was. But, but I've had that for sure.
That is weird.
It's
that
super
is very, very weird.
Yeah, it's like almost spooky. You're like, "What the heck?"
Yeah. Aliens.
Yes.
Aliens.
That's proof there.
Yeah, right there. They were just like, no, I'm gonna cook the film. Psst.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
This photo's too good.
It's too good.
You don't get to have it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know you're a member of the Wide Aperture Club.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it about the wide aperture look that you love so much?
I think it just creates, because maybe because I'm just a lazy POS, but like it helps create separation in whatever subject you're shooting, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. Maybe because I don't know how to layer. Maybe I need to get better. That's what it is. It's like it's the lazy version of everything. Yeah. I'm trying to actually close down more.
Really?
A little bit, and think about it a little bit more. I'm so willy-nilly with things sometimes, where I'm so just like trigger happy almost, like I'm just there, I'm like, I'm seeing everything, and you know, and sometimes I need to even slow down even further, because I'm at this point where, like, before I was super precious with my frames, like the first photo that I took on that Holga, I do remember, but I was just like, oh my god, what did I take a photo of, you know? And it was actually a selfie. My friend was like, you have to take a selfie with it. I was like, okay, fine. But yeah, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like so precious, but now because I shoot so much and it's just kind of like part of the system, it's kind of like I shoot a lot more than probably normal people would.
Yeah.
But I do try to be selective at the same time, so I don't know. I think I just completely negated things. That whole, I feel like I can hear someone being like, well, you make no sense. They're going to listen to this podcast.
I don't
like,
think so.
That doesn't make sense.
No, I was following you. Part of me wondered if, because you have like a film, like cinema background.
Oh, yeah.
If any part of it was that, because I feel like cinema really leans into that shallow depth of field
100%.
too.
That's what I should. I like it because of cinema. Cinema. Maybe that is actually, honestly, that's a very. You're right. You're probably right. Yeah.
Is there an aperture too wide?
Is there an aperture too wide? No. Okay, so the funny thing is, so let's go video to do Kataka, and then we went and did no, it was a few videos ago, the 28 TT Artisans review that I did. So I did a lens review on 28 millimeter lens from TT Artisans on my M6. So I was trying something. Why did I change? Oh, God, this is convoluted. Okay, so I bought like a long ass time ago when I was making short films. I bought a variable ND for all my Canon glass because I came from Canon, went to Sony, so I had all these cinema prime lenses that are 1.7 aperture. They're Sigma or I don't know, one of those. Anyway, they're cinema lenses, super fast, and I was like, oh, and I found my adapter, my variable ND adapter that fits on. It goes from Canon to Sony. Yeah. I was like, oh, well then I don't have the variable ND on the front. This is fantastic. Why don't I shoot a video with this? 24. This is gonna be great, you know. And so I can be super wide open. I can be at 1.7, but also have a correct exposure because of the variable ND, right?
Right.
Okay. So I did a video. I did the 28mm video with that, and everyone's like, "Ooh, new lens." They're like, everyone picked up on it, and they really liked that look. And I was like, "Damn it!" And it's all manual focus, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it, that means I got to work harder. I just did this for an experiment just to play, and now everyone likes this look. And so I think it's cinema. That goes back to cinema.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
We got to the bottom of it.
We got back to it. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, do you have any trips that you've taken, filmed a video for, but never posted?
Trips, no. But they're like out-of-town trips, no. But we did, was it a year or was it 2 years ago now, Jason and I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. Jason and I went into Echo Park, which is just a place here in LA. And we did a sunset. Sunset was beautiful. It was in the hills. It was fucking rock solid. And I was going to do this. Actually, it's going to be my next video. So it is true technically now. It will not be true later. But I took my Pentax 6.7 and I took my Mamiya 7 and I was doing a rangefinder versus SLR video. So that video is coming out. It's a kind of different format than what it was going to be. So I had just got my pano back.
Yeah.
As well. So that's important because with the pano back, it has 35mm spools and not the spool that comes with the 120.
Right.
So if you want to switch between the two, you need that spool.
Yeah.
I forgot that spool. So I loaded up my Pentax 6.7 and everything, and I was like, cool, now time to load the Mamiya. So I load the Mamiya, and I don't have that spool. I'm like, well, fuck, there goes that camera. And so then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just shoot that later. So then I start shooting the Pentax, and I just have the one roll, it's gold, shooting around, having fun, yay. And then I get to the end, and it's like, clunk, and it doesn't the sound of click, click, right? It does the slap.
Yep.
The second portion of that slap didn't happen. So the mirror went down and it never went back up. Or, no, I'm sorry. The mirror went up, never went back down.
Is that mirror lock? Is that what it's called?
It was mirror lock, but it was just Pentax shitting me.
Oh,
it was just nah, I don't want to do this with you anymore. And I had just gotten it back, I think, because I had this whole, if anyone follows the channel and they follow, every single video, they know Pentax is, I love my 6.7, but, it's just been a nightmare. Yeah. Anyway, so that happened, and then I'm like, well, do I want to save these shots? Do I not? Because I can't shoot this film. I can't shoot this anymore, and I can't open it up because I can't rewind it.
Right.
And so I don't know what to do. I either save these 9 images, 10 images, or I think it was 9 because the last one didn't actually take. So yes, that video I had to scrap because
the whole
concept was So I have a little. Do I even have that clip? I might have that clip in there, but I'm just so depressed in that video because I'm like, well, the rest of this day is shot for me.
Right.
I can't shoot the Mamiya. I can't shoot my Pentax. I'm like, well, fuck. So I just walk around. I'm like, well, I'm Jason. I'm your personal assistant today.
Light meter.
Yeah. It was not fun. And then also we did take another trip. I didn't post anything in there because it was gonna be it was gonna actually be the Pentax version because a year later got it fixed, or maybe months later got it fixed. So I was like, okay, let's do the Pentax again. Yeah. But I'm not gonna bring both because we're going on a small little hike. So fuck that. So just the Pentax. And that's going to make it in the video too. So,
okay, nice. So we'll get bits and pieces.
You'll get bits and pieces. Different video, but it's bits and pieces.
We'll see the expression on your face. And we'll know why.
Yeah. God, now I wonder if I put that in. I finished the video 3 weeks ago. Actually, that also reminds me I need to send that to the sponsor. so that they can review it. Anyway, there you go.
Hey,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
that's what this is for.
This is what this is for. Podcasts are for that.
For reminding you
of things I gotta do.
workflows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, last question before we
Oh,
move on
yeah.
to our next
Okay,
coffee here.
yes.
What are your biggest photography influences in terms of
Influences.
like influencing how the images you want to make?
Yeah.
Is it could be non-photographers, could be
Oh, for
photographers.
sure. Yeah. Man, that's a fucking hard question, dude. I don't know. I feel like it changes. It changes from day to day. It changes from year to year, month to month, second to second. Like, if I see something, I'm like, oh man, that's dope. And it doesn't even have to be photography related. Sometimes it's like I like graphic design. I'm not the best at it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy kind of playing around in that space. So sometimes like that really inspires me. I know that has nothing to do with photos, but I think overall I just really like images, pleasing colors, contrasting colors, weird things that don't mix well. I think it all just comes down to play and exploration, and that's what gets me excited. I feel like if I did have a thing that I was super passionate about, or something that like a subject that I really needed to capture or something, maybe that work would be better than it would be transcendent, but I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah.
Hey,
sometimes you don't need to. I think it's great to just figure it out while you're out
there.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of it is like I'm just figuring out just
jazz.
Just like the rest of it. It's jazz. I love that. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, we can start on this next coffee.
Cool.
Where
do we throw this? Where do we throw
if
this?
you've got extras, we can toss it in this.
Okay,
mug
cool.
Here. There we go.
Sweet. Boom. How much coffee do you go through?
For this, so these are actually all of yours. So these bags I'm gonna send you home with.
You're gonna send this with me?
Yeah. This is
no.
Yeah. This is thank you for coming on the show,
dude. That's way too kind for one, because this is a lot of coffee. Like you could. What about your next guest?
We got a whole nother batch.
Oh shit. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy. So this next coffee is a Colombian coffee from Devotion.
Yeah.
And they're based out of New York City.
New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, if you want to like read any of the stuff on the bags,
I don't know how to read.
I'm illiterate.
That's why, honestly, I make that joke, and so Jason and I make that joke a lot or I make the joke, and he, goes along with it. And there was. I can't remember if it was a podcast or it was one of my videos or one of his or something, but someone was like, you guys joke about you not being able to read a lot. Is that true? Like, can you really not read? And I'm like, I don't know if you could get through this 21st century without knowing how to read.
How do you buy a camera online if
I
you
mean,
can't read?
come on. What is that?
At least that much.
Yeah. So I can technically read, but it is harder for me, and that's why I think I gravitate to images and to creation of that sort, because it's like the reading section, like there's other people who are good at reading. I don't fucking need to do that.
Are you dyslexic?
You know what? I haven't been like diagnosed, but I think I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird, like, I didn't realize, I thought dyslexia was just like flipping shit around all the time. And I'm like, that's not, I'm learning a little bit more, and it's not exactly that. Like, yes, that is one form,
right?
But I think there are multiple forms of a slight dyslexia.
Yeah.
Are you full? Like,
I've never been tested, but my dad is.
Oh, okay.
And I have a lot of like things like the weird ones for me are P's, B's, and D's. They're all interchangeable.
That's good stuff.
It's good, right?
That's good stuff. P's, B's, and D's are all interchangeable. Okay,
so I will put a P like at the start of a word, usually at the start.
Oh, interesting.
A P where a D or a B should belong, or vice versa.
Oh, okay.
It's really weird.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. 8s and 9s. For me, it's like I know it says 89. It's terrible too, because I was born in 1989 too. It's like really fucked. But like 8s and 9s, I have to be like 89. Like I have to really think about 89 or 90. Sometimes I'll just be like, oh yeah, it's 80, 98 or whatever. I'll flip it and just be like, no, that's not what it said. In the left and right thing too.
Yep.
Like
I have to do the.
I have to do it. People are like, hey, you don't know how to, but it's like it's a thing in your brain. Like 100%. If someone's like, if I'm navigating and I don't think about it, and they're like, oh, where to turn? I'll be, oh yeah, go right. 100% is left. It's always I'll always say the opposite, and then I'll always have to correct myself.
You should just. I think what you should start doing is be like, oh, I thought you meant stage right.
Yes.
That's a good.
Damn
one.
it, you're
one.
smart. I like that. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm an idiot. Let's be real.
No. That was good. That was good. My fiance would like that one.
All right, so this next set of questions while we're drinking this coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention before we move on. These guys, they only roast Colombian coffees, which is very unique.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So if you're ever in New York, they have a really cool. They have a couple of cafes there.
Yes, I have been to one of their cafes. Yeah.
But, yeah, and they have such a wide variety within like the Colombian space. It's very
that's
cool.
interesting. Yeah.
Highly recommend.
I like Colombian. Colombian and Ethiopian are my jams.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
God, this is good.
Okay, so this next set of questions, I want to focus on your VFX work.
Okay.
So I'm curious, are there any similarities like to how you approach VFX and film photography, or are they kind of less complementary and more like giving space to the other?
Definitely fair question. As a visual effects artist, so I started with doing the artwork, and now I'm supervision. So as an artist, as a visual effects artist, you're not really trying to. Visual effects is trying to like look real, right? You want it to look real unless it doesn't look real. But at the end of the day, you want it to look real. A lot of times what it is you're faking reality through lenses. Because it's not, the whole movie is what we're seeing. The whole movie is through a camera lens.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Helios for the Batman, whether it's Arri Master Prime, whether it's Zeiss Super Speed, whatever it is, it's going through a lens. And so you have to recreate reality through a lens. So yes, it actually does help knowing lenses and knowing sensor sizes and knowing what you're getting into. I worked on Walking Dead for 6-7 seasons, whatever it was. That was shot on 16. So knowing gate weave is important. Knowing all this thing, like knowing how to remove grain, add your effects, adding the grain back on, knowing what the grain does, all that stuff is really important when it comes to, or even not even grain, but digital noise. There's kind of different digital noises, and so it does help tremendously.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing this whole like. I did this thing for Insidious. It didn't really pan out for the movie, but like there was a lot of math and a lot of like lensing that had to happen. I'm kind of being cryptic because I can't say a ton, but I needed to know what lenses and everything we were using for those scenes so that we could recreate it back at the end of the day. So there's a lot there. Yeah, there's a lot there, and obviously sensor sizes does a big thing. So if it's a smaller sensor, more depth of field, and all that fun stuff. So
that's really interesting. I wouldn't have expected that piece of it to be what's helpful.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, and I never really went deep into like, because you don't really need to. But every lens produces a different type of like color cast depending on, unless they remove it or whatever. But sometimes vintage lenses will have characteristics, and you have to build that characteristic into your. Like if you're adding like a fucking spaceship and you're shooting a Helios lens wide open, I mean, I don't know if that's super niche for anyone to like be like, wait, what's he talking about? That's the anyway. You have to build that character into the shot, or it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So, knowing lenses is definitely a big thing, and what it does for focus, because sometimes we push it in the back of focus. So if we know, the sensor size was full frame, or it was the Lexus 65, a big sensor. Okay, cool. You're on a 40 mil. Well, what does that do? Okay, cool. I'm putting it how far away? Oh, it was 20 feet. Okay, we're focused 3 feet. You got to kind of know how to You fake the shit out of it.
Yeah. There's a lot more stylizing than I would have expected.
Yeah, sometimes. Totally. Yeah. I mean, also, you think about chromatic aberration or anything like that. You dissect the image and you put it in. So yeah. There's a lot to go into it to learn. Do you find that the analog nature of film is like a good reprieve from like the really computer heavy technical? I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's probably why I did film in the first place, right? So I'm like, when I was doing the artwork, when I was on the computers, creating the visual effects for television and movies, I was just sitting at a computer let's be honest, I still sit at the computer all the fucking day, but that's, my own creative thing. But you're sitting at the computer all day and you're just staring at pixels moving them around on the screen, really. So, yeah, I think it was one of those things where like, oh, technical or tactical stuff. Yeah, I'm on board. I've always been that way, though. I've always been like hands-on. I think it probably comes with the whole semi-dyslexic thing or whatever. It's like I like things and I like to put my hands on things. That's why I like records. That's why I like tapes. That's why I like film. That's why I like anything that's analog. I used to make furniture, so anything I can just like hammer is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that's it's a weird dichotomy of like, yeah, I have a very super technical job that sometimes I really need people to be on their shit so that I can be on my shit, and then I'm also super fly by the seat of your pants in like hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
It's a balance you need.
Yeah. But
totally.
it does. I will have to say, I had a meeting the other day, and for a lot of filmmakers, especially now, I feel like there's that resurgence of like get it in the frame, get it in the shot. You know, we don't want to go to computer unless we have to, which is good. I actually like that. Sometimes I'm like, come on, guys, let's join the 21st century. But I really do. I get it in frame is really nice. And so anytime like we talk to a new filmmaker or someone who's trying to hire me for a supervision gig or something, I always am like, you know, I want it in the frame. I really like, honestly, visual effects is there to help at the end of the day if you need help.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. I'm either going to try to save you money on set, save you money at the end of the day. Let's just make a cool movie.
Yeah.
So I do like to get it into frame a lot, because then anything that's real, we can all tell it's real or not.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
It feels like there's been a really big awakening, kind of the unionization efforts, specifically in Hollywood and other, fields.
Oh, totally.
Why is it that you think that VFX in particular is kind of lagged behind, especially in Hollywood, which is so full of really strong unions?
Totally. It's because it's new. It's the newest. I mean, it's obviously not new anymore, but in the grand scheme of films and filmmaking,
right,
it's new. What other technology has really, I guess maybe games. Well, that's also visuals. So I was thinking like, game engines are now introducing themselves into visual effects because they can create things faster.
Yeah.
And so, but that's still the visual effects realm. Like visual effects is like the newest part of filmmaking. And I think it was just easier not to, or hard. I mean, the thing is that it's a global business.
Yeah.
Not to say filmmaking in general isn't global, because it totally is, but you can go over to India and get something for half the price, or you can go to Singapore or wherever, half the price.
Yeah.
And so it is it's harder to say, especially like the living conditions are different, right? So it's hard to say, okay, visual effects everyone, let's get on the same page, when someone in Vancouver is living a very, very different life than someone in India. And it's really hard to have a global union. I mean, a studio can go and they were like, well, we're going to use those guys over there. Yeah, time difference sucks, but we're going to use them because they come in cheaper. And so I think that's one reason. It's just, kind of hard to, because it's a bunch of contractors also. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to hire you as a business to do this thing, and you as a business. I mean, there are definitely smart people out there, like, the Marvel people and Disney people, visual effects people are like, let's fucking do this. We're going to unionize now, and I'm really interested on how that's going to go, and how that can spread to visual effects people. It's a very interesting. It will be interesting to see. There are smart people on it, and I trust them. I'm just talking out of my ass, and I don't really know like the way forward.
Sure.
But having one is a fantastic thing.
Yeah. Different landscape. I guess I didn't realize how global the nature of that work is, but that makes a lot of sense.
And really, it's not anything about like us versus them either. I hope that's also very clear too, because I mean, there are so many times where I've contracted someone in India for doing like cleanup, like say something goes in front of their face or something, like face work. Like if something goes in front I had this thing like so many years ago. It was a stunt. This person was like going and like gonna tackle someone, but like the camera was here and the person was like going over the camera type thing.
Yeah.
And their safety wire went in front of their face. It was like wow, boo, bah. And I was like, hey, that's a pain. I'm like, that's a reconstruction. Someone reconstructing someone's face.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sucks. I wouldn't want to do that. And so I took a bunch of photos of that person's face and the wardrobe to help use as reference and to hopefully like basically replace their face, put it on there. And so I took all that photos. I did all that stuff. I put on the network, and then I had my producer send off the shot, and we were going to send all the clean plates within like 20 like overnight.
Right.
12
because they're working
hours.
during.
They're working.
Right,
That's the good thing about the difference.
Yeah.
It was done, and I didn't even send the reference plates. And I was like, oh shit, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Fuck, they do some really good work. I'm like, they can have it all.
Totally.
Like, so there's a lot of really good artists doing work that I would hate to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, boom, done. I'm like, ooh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think that like the current strikes are having any impact on the speed of that unionization potentially happening?
I think if anything, it's helping. Because like back when I started visual effects, there was a big movement. Because Life of Pi came out in 2012, didn't it? It was 12 or 13. Life of Pi is like this big catalyst of visual effects because Life of Pi won for best visual effects. And at the very same time, they had to close their doors because they weren't making enough money to pay the artists, to pay the people, to pay them what they need. Right. It's a hard business because it's like there are actual costs involved. So anytime you try to bring down a budget, well, what is getting cut in that cost? Who's getting cut? Is it hours? Is it men? Is it render farms? Which is time? Which is money? Like,
yeah,
there are physical, and then the whole infrastructure of creating visual effects. Like, there are real costs. So when you cut those costs, like, where does it cut? So very slim margins, very slim. So they completely, they went under. Rhythm and Hughes was the visual effects company for Life of Pi. So yeah, they went under that time. So at that time, there was a lot of commotion of unionizing and trying to get the money instead of always like, there has to be a standard or something, right? So that happened and nothing happened. Nothing happened with visual effects unionization. And then now it is. So it's like, how many, like I said, I don't even know, 2012, like, that's so many years past that it's been quiet, just crickets. And so now it's coming back. And I think that really, yes. So to answer your question, you're in a very long-winded way, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the writers and SAG strike right now are helping just bring it into the limelight.
Totally.
Especially conditions with like visual effects artists. Like people on set, yeah, they have it rough sometimes. But visual effects artists, they have it, I think, worse. So we really need to figure out how to unionize the visual effects workers, specifically artists.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on AI use in VFX? Is it something that scares you, something that excites you?
No, it's super exciting. It's super exciting and also scary. I could 100% see this. So just like I was saying with like, so there's this thing called rotoscoping, which is basically cutting out a person from a frame, or anything from a frame. And so that work is kind of like, India's fucking amazing at it. You give them something that's like, boom, done. So there's that, but that is probably the easiest thing to get cannibalized by AI because it's subject detection. I mean, Lightroom, when we're editing photos, Lightroom has a phenomenal subject detection. You want the sky? Boop. You want a person? Boop. You want two people? Boop. You want their eyes? Like, it's ridiculous. So if you can get that to go to visual effects, it will help. Now, it will also displace a lot of people.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. So I'm excited for it because of what creatively it can do and what you could potentially utilize things for to help be faster at a job or something. But I do see the ramifications of a business like that.
Totally.
And that would hurt. And that does hurt them. And that sucks. So,
right.
But I don't think it's 100% there yet. There's definitely a difference between subject detection in a photo versus 24 images moving constantly.
Totally.
So.
As a VFX artist or supervisor, do you find it more satisfying to work on the VFX shots that nobody would know were VFX, so that kind of slip completely under the radar to the viewer, or kind of the big set pieces that we typically think of as like CGI VFX?
that's a hard one too, because like yes and is the answer to that, because it is definitely fun when you get all these CG objects, right? So like, do I have something? Let me think. Is there a good? Oh man, it's been so long. You know what? No, there was this movie called Happy Time Murders, which is it was a Brian Henson film. It was like a raunchy puppet movie, right? So I worked on that, and we had to do a CG house because like there was the first level, but we needed to make him look like he's a rock star or he's a movie star. So he needed several levels. So CG house going up, right, and then CG trees and shit like Hollywood Hill sign, like all this stuff. So an artist worked on it, and then I picked it up at the end of the day. It was like I needed to just get it out, right? There's sometimes that happens as a supervisor. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but there are times where like the artist isn't getting there, and you're kind of like, ugh, I got to do it.
Yeah.
I just got to do it. So that one was fun because it was like a lot of pieces. It was CG trees, and it was a CG house, and it was like a CG like inflatable thing, and then at the same time, I was building in practical elements too, like lights. So then I would actually I knew I was going to work on it the next day, so I actually took my drone that night and went and found lamp posts because I needed lamp posts.
Yeah.
So I ended up using real lamp posts that looked really good from the perspective, because that's another thing. It's all about perspective. Films are all about perspective. Visual effects is about perspective. And so I used real elements in that, and I just composited. So that was fun. So yes, having the big shots are fun, but then that means there's more scrutiny on them.
Yeah, right.
And then there could be more iterations, and sometimes people who aren't visual effects artists or artists in general, they'll be like, do that, and you're like, nope, that looks like shit, but you kind of have to because it's a client business, and you have to make the client happy. I mean, sometimes if you have a good relationship with them, you'd be like, hey, that's a dumb idea. And then they're like, you're right, it is. Sometimes they just have to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing. Sometimes people just don't
Visual
know what they're
medium,
looking
you gotta see it.
at.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Some people are really good at visualizing. Some people are like, I don't know, show me. And you're like, oh, I'm going to show you like 10 different things. I'm like,
It's gonna take 2 hours.
yeah. It's going to take forever. So yeah.
Right on.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big time. Okay, so we can move on to our next coffee.
Oof. Okay, this is yours.
This is my coffee that I've roasted.
Dude, I actually did kill that. I was like,
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
You're down in it. Also, if you want sparkling or still water,
Ooh, yeah,
we
you
have
know
some
what?
to kind of rinse the palate.
You know what? That's a good idea.
I'll crack this open while you're getting some water. So this is a triple washed Kenya that I roasted. It's a newer coffee.
Is this the one you sent me? No, never mind.
No, that was Ethiopia.
Mm.
I actually don't know if that one might be gone at this point. But I really like that Ethiopia that I had. Cool. So this next set of questions, we're gonna do like a bit of a rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
We'll see how far.
Let's see how rapid I can be. I like to go on diatribes apparently.
It's great though. Are you doing okay on time?
I have nothing to do
Okay,
today.
amazing.
Yeah,
Perfect.
basically I'm gonna go home and edit. That's it.
Okay.
Sit at
Awesome.
a
I just didn't
computer.
want to make sure we weren't.
Oh
like,
no,
keeping you or
we're
anything like
we're
that.
all good. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Thoughts on the coffee?
Yummy as hell. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's awesome. Mm. Triple wash. What goes into a triple wash process?
So it's similar to like a wash process, but if you think about clarity, like you know, kind of like enhancing the clarity a bit. That's like the biggest thing I've noticed when I roast. Anything that's triple wash and price. You know, any of those processes like can impact the price a bit.
Oh, okay. So is triple wash more expensive?
Typically,
you're like, gotta go for the bougie people. This is very, very easy to drink. This is really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, this is
man.
one of the more complex coffees that I've got right now.
Well, like I said, when you sent me that coffee, I was blown away. Truly, I was like, "Fuck, this is really, really good stuff."
Thank you so much,
dude.
man. I really appreciate that.
And you can call my lady, and because I was gushing for it. 100% not lying.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's always really helpful to get like honest feedback from people because like starting out, I'm just sending coffee to like friends and family, and they're like, "Good job,
good, you did it, you did the thing."
So, yeah.
When I know you said you were on rapid and shit, but
no, we can wait.
So where's your roaster at now? Because you were up there. You obviously came down here for a reason.
Moved everything down.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
That took a while.
I'm sure. What was the idea of moving down here? Like, why did you want to be in LA?
I love Santa Cruz. It's such a beautiful spot, but there's not as much going on. Like, it's a pretty small town.
Oh, totally,
Which was awesome for COVID. Like, I loved it
I bet.
for that. So, you like, go surf in the afternoon and then go hike in the redwoods.
Oh, yeah, that's not... Oh, Jesus
can't beat
Christ.
it.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. That's a sucky time.
It's like, that's like a normal day that you can have. And not spending time in traffic. So it was awesome. Yeah, I spent like 3 years there. Yeah. But there's a lot of coffee there. Cat and Cloud is like Verve started there.
Oh yeah, Verve is good.
There's
shit.
another couple of like other big ones that are really great.
Yeah.
So pretty saturated from a coffee standpoint.
Totally.
But also like like concerts and stuff. It's just like it's not as available.
Oh, totally. Yeah, big music guy. You like?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, just like even like comedy shows and stuff like that. It's just like stuff to do after work that's not, like outside.
Right. No, totally. Yeah, that's. I mean, LA got you there. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Wait. So then, where do you roast at? Like when I think of roasteries, I guess I would think of like I went up to SFO, and what's the big roaster up in SFO? It's is it Sight Glass I'm thinking of?
Oh,
or
yeah,
is it the other S one?
There is Sight Glass. There's Ritual. There's so many in San
I think it was
Francisco.
Sight Glass.
Sight Glass.
I think Sight Glass is the one I was thinking. But you walk in and you just see this fucking vat of like, and just like the beans are just going around and like, oh, this is impressive. That's probably not the operation. Do you have a smaller? Okay, I was gonna say
way smaller.
Because you're like, oh yeah, I moved everything. I'm like, damn, that's a big operation.
Yeah.
To move. Okay, yeah.
No, we're like operating, basically like kind of like a garage setup almost. Okay. So it's we'll rent like a commercial kitchen and roast out of that basically.
Oh, so you can move the things to a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a small. We're considered like a micro roaster.
Okay. Yeah.
So even smaller than like what people say small batch coffee. We're like less than 2 pounds at a time. In a roast.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Yeah.
So it's nice because we're a little bit more mobile. It's if I mess something up, it's like pretty low impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a great roaster to learn on. It's like that's what
cool.
I learned on. It's still working for now.
Yeah. Totally. Is the idea to like scale up? Did you want to scale and be a behemoth?
Yeah. That's. I mean, not a behemoth.
Charlie everywhere.
Yeah. I think it'd be awesome to have like maybe 3 cafes at some point.
Yeah. Totally.
But I would love to do like one here in LA, maybe one in New York.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere else.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gone around to like the people here? The different coffee shops here and kind of learn their process or learn who they use or stuff like that?
A little bit. So like I've gone to a few different cafes. I did this when I was in Santa Cruz a lot more, and just being new here, we're like haven't focused on that as much. So we do more online sales than like in person.
Okay. Yeah.
But we used to basically I built like a coffee cart that I'd like tow behind my bike.
Oh,
and I would just set that up on the beach and like do a little pour over setup.
Cool.
So we'll do pop-ups and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. That's sick. That's awesome.
That's kind of like
the
interim stuff until we start taking off.
So who's we?
My partner and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we both have like 9 to 5. She's a therapist.
Oh, okay.
Which is also part of the reason
her.
we moved down here. Yeah, she's great. Yeah. But yeah, that's part of the reason we moved down here too. Is like she found a really cool opportunity here, and so it's been good.
Sick.
But we kind of run the whole thing together.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so you have a 9 to 5 too then?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your 9 to 5?
I work for a tech company. Do you know QuickBooks?
Yeah.
So I work for them.
Oh shit.
I do
okay.
marketing for those guys.
Oh, you do marketing?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so,
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of
the
boring, stable job that pays for all this stuff.
Dude.
So.
There's a reason I do visual effects.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. But there's.
Yeah. It's.
I get it. There's jobs and there's fun hobby shit. So I get that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
you
that's
need a
cool.
little of both.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. All right. Rapid fire. You ready?
Rapid fire. Okay.
Okay. Favorite film? Favorite color film?
Lomo 800 or Portrait 800.
Okay. Favorite black and white?
Tri-X or HP5 push 2 stops.
Oh, all right.
I'm giving you 2. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
okay,
fine.
Okay,
Tri-X
okay.
is great. Favorite focal length?
35, but 28's coming in hot.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right on. Favorite camera you own?
It's have to be the M6.
Okay. Favorite camera you don't own?
Oh my gosh. It's probably I would say the Hasselblad. X-Pan.
Okay.
Yeah. X-Pan.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm dying to pick one of those up.
I've actually never shot one Well, other
Wait,
than
really?
Jason.
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
mean, Jason has his, and I've like, have I shot it? I don't think I have. I just touched it.
Oh man, you gotta
Yeah.
like steal that someday.
You're right. I should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would be fine.
He would be fine. I steal everything else. It's fine.
Favorite camera shop?
Ooh, like what kind? Like
In
to go
person.
get film or to get cameras?
Either one.
Oh, dude, there's nothing here, so that's the thing. I wouldn't be here. It would be. I don't have one. I don't think I have one.
Okay.
I can't say. Yeah, I don't have a. Because there's not. LA's not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue Moon might be cool.
I know,
I
there's
like
not
Blue
many
Moon,
of
but
them.
there's not. There doesn't seem to be a lot of them. If they are, they're bigger. You know. I went to KEH. That was a really cool place.
Nice.
There's this. I can't remember what it's called, but there's one in New York.
B&H.
No, yeah, those big, Adorama.
Small little.
Yeah, this small little thing. You know, there's one in New York that I remember seeing my first Mamiya 7 in, and I was just like, yeah, baby.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Favorite photographer?
Slim Aarons.
Slim Aarons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
he's
have to
chill.
send me some of your stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, he's like dead now
Oh.
and stuff. But
Oh man.
yeah,
R.I.P.
yeah, I know. Yeah, 1950. He like didn't work in like was it the 50s, 1950s and 60s or something? I don't know.
Okay.
He shot famous people on like, Kodachrome and stuff. And it's
sick.
fucking. It looks great. Like
Okay.
yeah.
Right
he's,
on.
He's chill. I don't know him personally.
Seems chill.
Yeah, he seems chill.
Favorite YouTube channel?
Oh my God. I have to say, Jason, obviously, Jason from Grainy Days. No, I think it would probably be I like Gerald Undone. He's really fun.
Yeah.
He's just like he has that dryness, and he has. I know it's like it's a camera thing, but it's fun. And he gets really technical.
Half
in
of
stuff,
it's just
and I'm just
right over
like,
my head.
we need technical people in the world.
Yeah,
you know, because
totally.
then you get me who's like, I like it.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Is Aerochrome really that good?
I mean, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
All right. What is it about abandoned buildings?
It's exploring. I like exploring.
Where do you find photography? Instagram?
Oh, where do I find photography? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use any of like the specific to film like Instagram type apps?
No, I actually honestly need to be better at not being on Instagram. It's been, I find myself like waking up and going to it directly. I'm like, no, that can't be the first thing I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably a lot of Instagram. I mean, I take in movies more so than I think I take in photos and photography.
Yeah.
And that's where I get my inspiration a lot of the times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Dream guest from Mi Amigos.
Oh my gosh, dream guest. Probably Kyle McDaddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I feel like you guys could book him.
Yeah, but he's like all the way over there, you know. He's on across the pond.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But he would be chill. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be cool.
I think you should do an abroad trip. You know, go
Dude,
visit him.
going to New York with all the podcast gear was a pain in the
Yeah,
ass.
that's true.
So, but
That's
they
a
did
lot.
come out with a backpack that we have that can fit like a lot of this stuff in it. So it is better.
Okay.
But then you have the doing videos. So like you got all this shit, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And then something doesn't work or you
and
forget
then,
something.
Oh yeah, totally, dude. Oh my God, New York was trials and tribulations. Yeah.
Is Star Wars still as good as it used to be?
That's not a rapid question.
Yes or no? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I feel the same way. It's
No.
the Disney thing, like it killed it a little for me, which sucks. But
yeah. We could go in super deep on that.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
a whole
lot of-
podcast
dude,
by
that's,
itself.
Yeah. Start your Star Wars podcast.
yeah. How did you meet David from Waveform/MKBHD?
Oh yeah, Joshua Tree Darkroom event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So David's just one of those fucking awesome guys who can just like become friends with anyone somehow. Like it's crazy. So he runs the New York chapter, and this is not. Wait, this is a rapid question?
Yeah, you know. Rapid.
Joshua, okay.
Yeah.
He runs the Beers and Cameras New York chapter.
Okay.
And so he knows Juan, and Juan was part of the Joshua Tree thing. So he was like, "Yeah, come out and party." So that's how I met David. Yeah,
Sweet.
and it was weird because like we're like, "Oh hey, how you doing? Cool, I'm Caleb. Oh cool, you know." And then like I don't even know how it happened, but it was like we were the bestest of friends right away. It was weird.
Yeah.
Because we didn't actually spend a lot of time together on that trip. Not that I remember, but it was, anytime I saw him, we would just have a good relation, and good rapport, and he's
Yeah.
super easy to talk to. And then it's like, I mean, we did a trip with it. We just did a trip with him, Jason and I, and Birgit from Lomo. And then he comes out here and he went to a play with me. Like, it was weird. It's just weird. I don't know. It was fun
spirits.
though. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that trip, I've said it before, but that trip definitely changed a lot of things. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Because you get to meet a lot of really cool people. It's cool. Yeah. It was
That's
fun.
awesome.
So that's how. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, our Leica.
I'm actually seeing him in like 2 days. Not even. Tomorrow. I'm seeing him tomorrow.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
New best friend.
Yeah, new best friend. Yeah,
I won't tell Jason.
Please don't. He gets jealous really easily.
Are hype cameras really all they're cracked up to be?
Hype cameras. Yeah, I would
Okay.
say so. They are. There's a reason.
That's a sad moment for me, but that's
It is
okay.
It's sad, but then you pick it up and you're like, oh, fuck, that's why.
Yeah.
It's why. It sucks that it is, but it's like, it's okay.
Are celebrities shooting film good for the industry as a whole, or are they just driving up the prices?
That's a good question. I think they're probably good. I would say overall they're good. Yeah.
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 Am I missing out by not shooting anything larger than medium format?
I guess it just really depends on what you want to do. So, yes, for the experience, but for your wallet.
Okay. Yeah. Good. That's a good answer.
yeah.
All right. How's the digitizing film boxes project going?
Oh, fuck. Not well. Because it took a second for me to think about what you're talking about. I have a bunch. Definitely a bunch of boxes. And the thing is like, it takes a second.
Yeah.
It takes a
I can
second.
imagine. It's a big project.
It takes a second, and there's a lot that goes into it. And you're right. I should get back to that. Maybe when I have more time. Maybe after the wedding.
I wasn't sure if it was like one of those things where it goes silent because it's like there's like work coming out that you're like about to share,
I
or,
totally didn't do any of that shit. No, I have them, and all I have to do. It takes a lot of time because like you have to take all that stuff. You kind of have to take it apart, and then you have to put it together in Photoshop as a weird file.
Yeah.
For a lot of people who don't. I'm not going to get to it, but you have to wrap basically a CG object in this weird texture.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Like the box, like, you think like, oh, put that here. No, you have to like sometimes depending on how the texture is unwrapped, you have to put like this thing here and that thing over here and this thing over there. So and then you have to make them feel like they're coherent when there's like an image over here and an image over here. You're like, how do you make those two look like they wrap together?
Yeah.
And I'm not also a super technical CG guy. Like that was never I know a little bit. I know enough to get me by.
Yeah.
So it is, what will happen is like I'll do a video on some old expired shit and I'll be like, well, I don't have a box for that, so now I have to make it.
Right.
It's always about like, okay, well now I got to do it.
And then the list gets bigger.
Yeah, it's just massive. Yeah.
Is black and white a cheat code for bad/overcast lighting conditions?
Oh, it could be. It could be. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. I mean, but also at the same time, like, not. I guess. I mean, if the photo sucks, the photo will suck. In black and white too.
Yeah.
There's so many times like, why did I do? I mean, what am I looking at? It's just like a gray mess. So, yeah, but it does help. You're like, oh, okay, just black and white then. I mean, come on, do it on your phone. I switched my phone over to black and white for like a week, and I was just like, this is sick. It makes everything awesome.
This camera is now good.
Yeah. This is exactly.
Gets rid of the HDR photo.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. This is one that I know. Ooh, anaerobic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is a coffee from Brandywine.
Brandywine.
Brandywine is one of my favorite roasters. Have been for a long time. They're out of Delaware, of all places. They're incredible though.
It reminds me of that skit where he's like, Wayne's World. Did you ever see Wayne's World?
Yeah.
Like, where are we going? Delaware.
It's so funny. There's like, this is one of the things I love about coffee is like, there's such great coffee coming from the most random places you would imagine. You know, it's not all like East Coast, West Coast. So
This is like a really nice.
the wax seal.
Wax seal. I mean, it does literally not. It's not doing anything. It just looks nice.
Yeah. They do a bunch of really cool designs on there too. So like all of their bags have unique artwork.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an Ethiopia Worka. So
okay.
This is going to be right up your alley.
Cool.
In terms of flavor profiles that you like, I think.
Okay. I just started swirling it. Dude, I've been drinking like a fuck ton of wine recently, and so I'm just like,
viscosity.
It has the boldest smell out of all of them, for sure.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Do anaerobic coffees kind of always have that? I feel like they always have like there's a
distinct smell.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I get that, especially they do a lot of those, and they always have that same kind of like aroma to them.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. It's good, but it's definitely one of those things where you're like, yes, right. It's like you pinpoint it.
Yeah, it's weird because you almost smell one thing and taste something else.
Yeah.
It's not, they're almost fighting each other a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
All right, so for this coffee, I want to focus on kind of your film and videography work.
The videography, okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
Okay, so what's your process for making a short film, and how does it differ from kind of maybe the more traditional YouTube or film photography stuff you do?
That's very interesting, actually, I think, because it's way different. Technically, there's writing happening on both ends, right? I write my YouTube videos before I record them. Makes it easier. Obviously, you got to write a short film. I guess you don't really have to, but you write a short film to do that. So there's that process, but the process, it's weird because the reason I got into doing YouTube actually was because I was doing a film called Cassette Tape, which is now released. It's out. It's on the channel too. But I was doing that, and I was in such a weird place with that. Overall, I think creative process for me, but I think everyone, the creative process goes, it's like a graph. Mm-hmm. It starts here where it's like, oh, this is the best thing in the world. And it goes up, you're like, this is amazing. You're like, oh, hell yeah, this is great. Oh, cool, awesome. This is fantastic. I'm the best person in the world. And then it sinks really rapidly. It goes down, boom. I hate everything. Yeah. I hate this. I hate me. I hate that. I hate this. And then you're like, and then you creep back up and you're like, oh yeah, it's okay. I think that's the process. So I was very deeply in this is the fucking worst thing I've ever made in my entire life, and I hate it. And so that creative process, it was just really hard for me to be into. I don't know why. I think it was like things weren't going well. I shot on film, and it is a weird thing because it's like film does take a lot extra. You need more manpower. You need a few more people. Especially the level that I wanted it to be at. Like, I wanted to have a certain feel, and I couldn't achieve that with the skeleton crew that I had. Yeah. I had my buddy Tristan, who shoots my short films. I had him, and I had the actors, and I had a few of my really, really good friends. But I could only get my really, really good friends on certain days. Yeah. So then there was like one day I had to just hire up. But it was like a whole year between my first shoot and my second shoot, just because of shit. So I was in that shit right there. And then I was like, I can't create anything. I feel like shit. I feel like I need to do something. And so then the YouTube was just like vomit for me. It was just like, I'm vomiting creative. I'm trying to just, whether it was good or not, doesn't really matter. I had to vomit. Right? Yeah. So I did. And that's what happened. And then 3 years later, I'm still doing it. But, so that's kind of where I was at. And then I ended up finishing it. And then now I'm just like, yeah, I think it's my best. I really like it. I think it's funny. Every time I watch it, I laugh. So I made it for me. Yeah. But so that's that process. But wait, what was the question? Like how is it different? Or
how do you think about like videography, short films versus? Yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's definitely more of I don't know why, but there's a precious thing when it comes to it. So short films are more precious than YouTube, and so I can't crank out a YouTube video like a 15-minute YouTube video in 3 days. Right. At the level that I like now. But for a film, there's so much stuff, depending on what has to go into it. It's so easy for it to just slip away. It took 3 years or something like that for the film, for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's
or
crazy.
2 years or something. It's it's just a different. It's the same process, but like it has more precious energy to it. And also working with YouTube video. I work with Jason, but it's still at the end of the day, it's like two entities. It's me and him, and then yes, we work together. So it's very much me doing my thing, and it's easy for me to do everything I know how to do and just crank it out. Right. I know how to do sound. I know how to pick music. I know how to do all visual effects. I know how to shoot all these things. I know how to do all that, so it's just easy for me to do it. When you're working with a crew and we're working on a short film, other people have to be involved.
Right.
They have to be.
You have to delegate.
And you have to delegate, and you have
Vision
to work.
cast.
And when you don't have money, you have to be like, when can everyone do it?
Yeah.
I mean, think about getting your friends together.
Right.
And then now think like when you're in your 30s, that doesn't work. You're like, okay, let me schedule 3 weeks from now. I'm going to see my friends for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to schedule a movie when you're trying to do it on the cheap?
And then also getting everyone together and not just like socializing. It's like,
Totally.
we need to get this thing
We got to
done.
get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's a big effort, I'm sure.
It is. It very much is. But also going to YouTube it helped me because I popped over and I was like, oh shit, I could just do random shit. I could do what I want over here. I'm not so precious with it. And so it made me think it flipped my brain into you just finish it.
Yeah.
Like you have the means. You always had the means. Just finish it. So,
Right.
But because they are distinctly different in my brain, I have been wanting to really kind of go back to short form content. The problem is the writing and the time. I don't have if I'm going to keep doing YouTube, there's no way I can spend time writing and crafting a story because YouTube's easy. It's like I talk to the camera about a camera or a film and then I have my ideas and I have my thoughts and here you go and it's more easy. Like creating a well-rounded character in 15 minutes to tell a story. I'm like, who has that time?
Yeah.
when you're getting all this other stuff done.
And throwing a sponsor in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
As someone who's worked on some of the big movie and TV shows, is there anything that you bring that you've learned from those sets or those productions that you bring to your own short films, and anything that you leave behind and say I don't want this?
Yeah. No one knows what they're doing. No one. Doesn't matter. If you're making a bunch of money to no money, big ass director no one knows what they're doing. Yeah. Everyone, and it's the creative process, right? So everyone does something different too. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, I think the latest thing that I learned was on Insidious. Patrick Wilson is in it, and he was also the director. And the thing that I really admired about him in that is his way, what he worked with actors, or the process that it's fun being a filmmaker on that side where you're watching the directors and everyone do their jobs. You can kind of pick up and see oh wow, that's really cool that's how his brain works in this scenario. And he's talking to the actors, he's working through it himself, and then he's talking to them and kind of bringing his experience and their experience into the whole thing. You're like, okay, cool, that's awesome. So it was really fun to watch that work. That was a lot of fun. So I do take that. I'll take that back. But then I've been on other projects where I'm just like, oof, why don't you know what you're doing?
There's a level of kind of owning that you don't, we're all making this up.
Oh no, totally. Yeah. I mean, everyone's, and I think. To me, it's really important when people can be like, I don't know what I'm doing, help me, or I don't know what this is, help me. It is the worst when someone thinks they know better. And I feel like I am a weird dichotomy sometimes where I'm just like, I'm kind of like, right? A lot of, I'm friendly, I'm blah, and I talk potentially not I don't know, I'm a 30-year-old dude, and I'm trying to think of, there's a lot of other people who probably have a different cadence to them on set. Not to say that I don't know when to be like, I got to do the thing, right? But I am more energetic. Yeah, casualness, right?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes that might, that disarms people, but then also sometimes they're like, ooh, but I don't know if you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is a hard balance for me to sometimes be like, okay, no, honestly, this is not what you should be doing right now. You should be doing it this way. That's what I think. Oh, you don't want to do it that way? It's fine. It's going to cost you more. Cool. Okay. I'm going to go over
bad
that.
cop.
Yeah. Anyway.
Who's your Mount Rushmore of directors? So four people.
Oh shit, that's a good. I never thought of it. I never heard of that way. Oh, fantastic. I would say Wes Anderson is definitely there. David Fincher, 100%. George Lucas, 1,000%. He's a genius in some ways. And oh man, what does that mean? Okay, let's define Mount Rushmore. That those are the people that I want to meet, or no, not meet. Just I love.
Sure.
I just love.
Yeah, I guess.
No.
Who's the top tier? In your mind, who's worthy of being?
Who's worthy of the? Okay, yeah. Definitely Wes. Definitely, Fincher. Steven Spielberg, honestly, he's impressive.
Yeah.
He's very impressive. Obviously, he's impressive. He's fucking Spielberg. But like
Spielberg, yeah.
just kind of being in the same space as people. Like I was on this movie, and the lighting tech guy had just worked on The Fabelmans,
Yeah.
which I like. I know it's hard. Some people don't really, but he was working on that, and he was telling me some super impressive stuff that I was just damn. Of course, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But maybe not Rushmore thing. Tarantino is up there. He does a lot of cool stuff. I feel like I want to put someone else there who people don't know, but I'm just because everyone knows them. I'm trying to think.
Hey,
Is
you
there
know,
something? Yeah, I don't know.
they're the best for a reason.
Yeah,
That's
they're the ones
okay.
that come to mind,
Yeah,
but there
yeah.
are definitely I can't think. Yeah, they're
Okay.
the ones that come to mind.
Last question before we move on
Okay.
to our second to last coffee here. I heard you and Jason might be making a movie. Any updates you want to share? Can share?
Dude, well, that's part of the thing where I'm like, my brain sometimes like I'll be focused on my, well, a lot of times I'm focused on YouTube, but there are like more and more recently I've been like thinking about that movie and plotting out things and stuff that could potentially go through, because this is the hard thing with that movie, right? We're in a very niche thing. We're in film photography.
Yeah.
Other than film photographers, who gives a shit about us? No one. So well, maybe our moms.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. So how do we make a very personal, very niche, and very inside joke nature movie and bring it to more people?
Yeah.
Because more people need to see it. If it's going to be created, more people need to see it. More people need to care. So how do we do that? How do we set that up? How do we introduce ourselves to that? How do we create that? And then how can we make people care about us, Jason and I, because we would be the main characters.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get some rando who doesn't know me to care about me? So those are things that I'm trying to think through,
Right.
to make this happen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. I think
So-
however you do it, it'll work. Honestly.
I mean, I hope so, but then it's like getting funding and stuff. Like we have some crazy shit in there, and we need money
Yeah,
for
totally.
that. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's always the fun part, right? Finding funding. That's what everyone
Is
talks
it?
about.
Oh
yeah.
God, I don't
So this is a coffee from Proud Mary, who you know.
Yes. Oh my
um,
God, yeah.
know
They're
well, it sounds
Australian,
like.
right?
Yeah, they started there, I believe, but
Yeah.
I think this is roasted in Portland.
That one's in
Yeah,
Portland. Okay.
yeah. So I think most of their stuff now is Portland based, or at
Okay.
least like if you order in the U.S., that's where it comes from.
I went to Proud Mary's in. Wait, which one? That's the one.
This is
Okay.
the new one, yeah.
I went to Proud Mary's in Texas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. They had one in Austin, and it was fucking. Oh God, it was some of the best.
Yeah, I love the reason I pick them. Typically, like, is if they just have weird coffees that I love.
Mhm.
Like this one, the aroma. I'm curious if you get what I found, which is kind of like almost like a pepperiness, like a spicy
Oh, okay.
aroma to it. But it's very interesting. It's a fun one. But yeah, it's a Panama coffee.
Okay, I can see that. This is a very I'm gonna use smooth again. Very smooth.
Smooth is
It's
great.
easy.
Yeah, there's no wrong answers with coffee.
Peppery. I
Yeah,
can
it's
see a
more
little,
like
like,
the
at the
scent.
end? Oh,
Yeah,
the scent, okay.
Yeah. Especially like if you want to open the bag. It's
Oh.
your bag, so get in there if you want.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like I pick it up.
Coffee does smell. Did you know that cats like coffee? At least my cat. Like,
Really? I didn't know
sometimes
that.
I'm like making coffee and the bean will pop off and it will be on the floor. She'll like come over and she'll be like,
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking weird.
They say coffee with like the urban legend is that coffee was discovered by goats.
Oh, really?
They were like eating the cherries,
Oh,
and like they would be
interesting.
like bouncing off the walls.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Who knows
wow.
if it's true or not?
It probably is.
Yeah.
I think it is. Well, let's say it is.
Yeah, it's been around long enough that
Yeah.
it's considered true. I
Yeah,
think, so.
totally.
Okay, so this next one, I have 2 games that we're gonna play.
2 games, okay.
So the first one is Would You Rather?
Okay.
Film edition,
Okay.
kind of.
Okay.
So would you rather shoot all your video digital or all of your photos digital?
Video. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
You give up the short film, like filmed on, Kodak.
Oh, right. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, it'd have to be as much as I love 16 to death.
Yeah.
And really 16. 16's a phenomenal format. I would have to. Yeah, I'd have to because I think I just shoot way more stills.
Yeah, totally.
Unfortunately, I mean I'd never shoot IMAX, which would be depressing. Because that's like ultimate goal. I'll die when I shoot IMAX. I mean, that's probably what Christopher Nolan said. He's probably, never. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Would you rather give up coffee or barbecue?
Probably barbecue. I would do barbecue just because like coffee is literally every day.
Yeah.
Every day I couldn't eat barbecue. I would love to eat barbecue every day of my life. I'd just be 1 billion pounds. I'm like, how would I even be able to go out and shoot if I couldn't?
Would you rather shoot only large format or you get 1 roll of 35 a year?
Oh Jesus! Only large format then.
Okay.
I mean, how would you? No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather give up color or black and white?
I'd give up black and white.
Okay.
Flip that shit to flip up color to black and white, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
I know it
good
doesn't doesn't look the same, but it's
Gets there eventually.
I mean, color is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, black and white's nice too, but yeah, I'd have to do color. Yeah.
Okay. Give up buying new cameras or buying new lenses?
At this point in my life,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
I would give up buying cameras.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
I'm happy.
Happy with what you've got.
I'm happy with what I have. Yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
that's a sign of a
I've grown.
mature, contempt man.
Yeah. Well,
Proud of you.
you have to. Yeah. Thank you, man.
All right, so this next game is called Snap or Pass. I'm going
Okay.
to give you film photography cliches or tropes,
Okay.
and you tell me if you would snap it or pass on it.
Okay. Fair.
Okay, and also thank you to Analog Repeat for just making this really easy for me.
Yeah. Analog Repeat.
Yeah,
Sponsor this episode.
please. All right, basketball hoops,
I'd pass. Yeah.
stop signs,
I'd pass.
motel signs,
Fuck no. That's snapping all day, baby.
gas stations.
I could pass actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking out the window of an airplane.
I don't think I've ever snapped that one. So yeah.
Okay, that's an easy one.
Let's snap it. I wouldn't.
The out of focus hand reaching out. At
No.
something.
No.
So we're passing.
We're passing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pool handrails.
Oh, I've taken a good amount of those. I'm gonna snap that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
At sunset. Pff, hell yeah.
Nothing better.
No, oh my God, it's the best.
The TLR selfie. So holding
TLR.
like that,
Oh.
holding it, yeah, in the reflection.
I've done it, but I'd pass.
Okay, we it's a one and done kind of
One
thing.
and done. You
Yeah,
deal once, and yeah.
I agree. Okay, that one shot of of Mount Tamalpais. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's in San Francisco. I'll pull it up. I'll put it on.
Oh,
like,
it's
the
the
screen.
yeah. I mean, I think I've took that on Pentax 6.7. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you have to, especially at a good sunset.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
come on.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
The Roy's sign.
Oh, every day, baby.
Snap.
Yeah.
All right, and laundromats.
100%. There's something about them. The laundromats are fantastic. Oh, we're going back. Mount Rushmore. The Daniels.
Oh, okay. Right
Boom.
on.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't know who honestly. I really like Tarantino. I really love his work. I think Kill Bill is phenomenal. I think Django Unchained is his best work. Inglourious Basterds is amazing. They're all great. Well, Once Upon a Time is like anyway. I would probably remove Tarantino, and then put the Daniels there.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Inglourious Basterds, I had my first. Yeah, are we doing okay on time?
Oh no, yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't put this on silent.
Oh, you're good.
I should have.
I had my first celebrity sighting since moving to LA.
Ooh.
Christopher Waltz.
Oh yeah, Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, I watched him. I saw him
You
hiking.
watched him? That's creepy.
Yeah, I watched him.
You're like, ooh.
We were hiking and
Yeah.
we like walked by him.
Oh wow.
And I was like,
Nice. Yeah. Did you
and-
freak out a
yeah,
little bit?
I was like trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And then after he walked by, I was like, oh my god.
Did your lady know? Did she?
I had to show her who he was. She
okay,
didn't
yeah,
recognize him.
Yeah. Does she? Do you say? Well, I guess you just said you do your first one. Never mind. Okay.
What's that?
I feel like I see celebrities way more than Lauren does.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, oh yeah, that was like Johnny or whatever his name is. Whatever, doesn't matter. Oh yeah, okay. And she's like, what? I didn't see him. Or I'll be like, oh yeah, that was Drew Barrymore. And she's like, oh, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
I didn't see Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, she's not like gonna. She would recognize like health influencers.
Oh,
I think
okay,
more
okay.
than like actors.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'm probably
Seriously.
more of the cinephile of the two of us.
Okay,
so,
okay, yeah. Wait, well, why did we go to Daniels? Why did I talk about the Daniel? What did you ask me?
We did. We finished our
Laundry
Snapper
mat.
Pass. Yeah, laundry
Laundromat. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a fantastic. That's the thing about.
Wait, yeah. What was it? The triggered the laundromat thing?
Because their latest film, Everything Everywhere All at Once, was about a laundromat. Yeah,
Yeah, that was incredible. Obviously,
it was phenomenal. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I had a friend who did a day on that, and a film photography friend actually, and he was like, dude, it was amazing. He was like, being on set with him was phenomenal.
that's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited to see what they do next, honestly, because
Oh yeah, I think they have the Peel deal. That's what they call it, the Peel deal. Jordan Peele.
yeah.
At Universal, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Peel deal.
Sweet. All right, we can move on to our final coffee of the morning. Let
This
me
was
know
good.
if you want more or less.
I
I'm
do,
gonna
but
just pour it back
no.
here.
Got to do the final one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so this next coffee, this is probably, if you had to ask who I thought the best roaster that I've ever had was,
Okay.
Onyx Coffee.
Onyx. Okay.
They're Onyx Coffee Lab, if you Google them, because there is a green coffee buyer called Onyx Coffee that will come up. But these guys are based out of Arkansas.
Okay.
And they do all kinds of stuff, but they do a ton of like really like high-end specialty stuff too. So this is an Ethiopia of theirs. Yeah, so I'm excited to hear what you think.
Damn. This is cool packaging.
I know. They
I
do a
always-
really cool job with their
They do.
boxes.
That is cool. I always get after Jason for not talking to his mic, so I gotta talk into my mic.
It's all good. We'll make it work. Yeah, let me know what you think. This
okay.
is another Kenya coffee.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, let me do a little bit of water. Actually, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put some sparkles in my life.
Yeah, the sparkling, that's where it's at.
Can you just like get this from out there, right? They have soda
Yeah,
machines?
they have like a little. No, these are my bottles, but they have a like a little thing that'll do sparkling.
Oh, okay,
hot
cool.
water,
So yeah, you have to get your own bottles, but yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
exactly. A little more earthy on this one, I feel
Okay.
like. Some ASMR.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's very like balanced, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
All right. Last set of questions here.
Okay. let's do it.
Travel related.
Okay, travel. Love some travel.
Okay. I know you're a road warrior who loves some barbecue.
Yeah.
What are some hidden gems that you found in your travels? And then what are some places that maybe didn't live up to the expectations?
For barbecue?
Yeah.
Right? For barbecue?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's barbecue in Kansas. There's barbecue in Kansas. That's really good. And there's barbecue out here that's actually really decent as well. Holy Smokes barbecue comes to mind the most, I think, just because it's in all our videos that when we go up to 395, they're really good. They have I really like Texas style barbecue. It's just some of the best. Briskets are fantastic. You get a platter there at the Holy Smokes, and it just has everything. And you're just like, ugh, I can die now. That's really good. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. There has been, but it is with so many. Oh, and then going to Texas. And now I'm thinking about it. Going to Texas, obviously, there's so many good barbecue spots there. There's Micklethwaite's there. Anyway, man. You pull out some hard questions.
I know these are thinkers. That's all right. That was
yeah.
plenty.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Okay. Do you ever do like coffee stops on your road trips?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with coffee though is like if you're not in a metropolitan city,
Yeah.
it's just not good. So, yeah. But like when I go places, I try to do coffee. Like, people will see it in a few weeks. So we did the trip up to Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
From Portland all the way up to Vancouver Island, and then back into Seattle. What was it called? Hay? Was it called Hay? Hay there? Hey. I think.
Okay.
Can't remember. Watch my video. They blew my mind.
Yeah.
Their coffee was, honestly, it was the four of us sitting around, David from the Waveform podcast, Jason and Birgit, and I was just like, oh, dude, every sip was like, ugh. Like I felt like I was annoying them because I was just like, oh my God, it was some of the really good stuff.
The Kevin
So, yeah.
when he's like, eating the Snickers bar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. So I
That's
do,
awesome.
but it is harder when you do a lot of trips like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, like, do you bring anything with you?
So
for
yeah, I
those?
can't remember who it's called. Pact, P-A-K-T.
Okay.
They have like actually a pour over kit that's about this big. It's a kettle. It's like a Russian doll thing.
Oh,
so it's
sick.
like kettle. It makes one cup at a time, a small cup, and so like the drink holder sits inside of it, and then inside the drink is a little canister for film.
Oh,
or
that's
not
awesome.
film.
It's a 2-in-1.
2-in-1 coffee. So yeah, you do have to grind it up yourself, put it in there. That I think the hard thing is that I then have to have a whole nother canister because I drink so much. I usually make 2 cups when I take it.
Same.
And so it's like there's a lot of coffee, but it's a nice little package thing. It's
Okay.
kind of big.
I might have to get one of those because I've tried a few different ones and nothing is like super packable. I think that's the
Yeah,
problem.
people look at you weird, or like the TSA will look at you weird if you take it through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty chill.
Nice. Right on.
It takes a while for it to heat up though, so you kind of have to be patient with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Favorite city to photograph?
Probably New York. I'd say New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Favorite spot in nature or like national park to photograph?
I don't really have one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really have one. I think Utah might be really cool. Jason and I have a Utah trip planned. We've had it for several years now. It's just honestly so big that we wanted to hit everything in Utah.
Yeah,
and
it's a month long.
It's like, when do we have time for that shit?
Yeah.
So, but I have a feeling it might be Utah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this may be the same answer. Any places that are on your bucket list to shoot that you haven't shot yet?
Utah, Wyoming, Iceland is, I think, a very standard, but very
For a reason,
come on.
right? Come on.
I want to go to. Oh shit, where is it? I can't remember anymore. I don't know. A lot of places.
Yeah. Any chance we see a travel abroad episode?
Oh yeah, totally. The next one will probably be for the honeymoon.
Okay.
Yes, I am going to monetize my honeymoon.
Hey, you got to pay for it somehow. Come on.
But I think that one. So we're thinking Bali, so it might be Bali,
Cool.
which is cool. I mean, yeah, the thing is like, I went to Morocco and I did a Morocco one, but it didn't do it justice, I think. Also, it was a fucking weird ass time. It was 2020. I couldn't go anywhere. It was really like, I was in a weird spot because I went there for a movie and I didn't do the movie because of a lot of reasons. And so that's really the only time that I've actually gone somewhere and had my camera and did a thing. Because like I went to India, but I wasn't doing YouTube at that time.
Yeah.
Would have been really cool, but I just wasn't into it, or I just wasn't there yet. I just went to Thailand, but I also wasn't there yet. I wasn't doing videos at that time. I have a Thailand video. It's kind of super garbage. I really didn't do justice, but it was earlier on and whatever, So,
Yeah.
But yes, the long story short, yes, there will be
Okay.
abroads. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Last question.
Okay.
We ask everybody.
Okay.
Caleb Knueven,
Yes.
what makes you feel most alive?
Oh man. Exploring, being out there and exploring, traveling. Traveling is really fun. I think I like traveling and seeing new things through through my lens and kind of being like, oh my God, I need to capture that, or So I think it's a lot of exploring. I like going out there and seeing different cultures and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing it. Like I said, I went to India, went to Thailand. I've been to Japan. All those places just are so exciting. They're so new and different. And I did it before thinking about making videos for YouTube. So.
Yeah.
But I did take cameras, and I will always take a camera, So whether I'm doing a video or not on it, there'll always be a camera there. So exploring.
Last but not least, do
Last
you
but
have
not
anything you want
least.
to plug?
Oh, okay. I guess just my channel, Bad Flashes.
Yeah.
At YouTube, type in Bad Flashes, you'll find me. I get up to film photography stuff, obviously, as you've probably listened to this thing. And I like to explore on that channel as well. Exploring is the thing. So I like to do like little short. The new thing that I want to start doing more is short, like little short intros. I did that for my Konica recorder video, and everyone was some people in the comments were like, "You got to do more of those." And so I like it. It is fun because it's like almost a short, like a little short film at the beginning of the thing to introduce what I'm about to talk to. So it's like it's fun. It's getting me back into the short film form content. But anyway, Bad Flashes. But then Caleb Knueven on Instagram.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's a Bad Flashes Instagram, but I don't do much with that.
We all have too many Instagram
Oh,
accounts.
dude,
yeah.
I have like 5. I'm like, what am I
graveyard of
doing?
them.
Oh, yeah, totally. But the Mami Amigos, that podcast. Well, I have a podcast, Mami Amigos. It's all
Yeah.
about film stuff as well. we have the Instagram, but I forget to post stuff to that. Like, and then creating more content for that is like, dude, content. There's so much content. Like, how am I supposed to do all this
crazy
stuff?
yeah,
I know.
big time.
Anyway,
awesome. Well, that's it.
Cool.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
This is so much
Hell
fun.
yeah. This was yummy. I've never done this much coffee back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it.
We're buzzing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and just be like, can't edit. So much. Yeah. Anyway, it was good. Okay.
Awesome.
I need to. Oh man, this is hard.
Do you have a favorite?
Honestly, it might be between, and I'm not to say this because you, but it might be between you and this one really. This one got me.
They know their stuff.
And then also, oh no, I don't know about that one. I think it would be honestly those two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Really.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now if I had this one first, you never know. But
it's true. I think the order does kind of impact things a little bit, so I have to play around with it. But
yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
This was fun.
Thank you so much for coming.
Course,
this was a
dude.
blast.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We'll send you all. All this is
you're
going
way
home
too
with
kind.
You, so.
I don't even know how I'm going to get through all this
You got
shit.
pastries and coffee for days.
Pastries and coffees for days. Exactly. Yeah.
Do a tasting
Cool.
for the fiance.
Oh yeah, she definitely. Before she, we have an espresso machine that her father gave to us, and before she was like, we don't need an espresso machine. Come on. I'm like, okay. She cannot live with that. She probably uses that way more. She doesn't use it. I use it. She gets coffee every morning, so she has it good.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, if you make coffee, you save so much by getting an espresso machine.
Big time.
If you like to go and have coffee.
$6 here and there, it adds up.
Oh my
quick.
God, yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know the last time. Well, I do know the last time. It was Verve. It was, okay, but it was writing. I had to get out of the house. Anyway.
Valid. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Sweet.
How was that?
I think it was awesome. How do you think it was?
I think it went great. I mean, I had a blast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's easy and fun just to talk about film shit.